Hello, everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to Wasteland Talks, my weekly talk show where I talk about whatever the hell I want. And this week is our segment, Song Maketh the Scene, where we have talk about why a particular song really ties the room together for a particular scene from a movie. And joining me is my friend Corey. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is fun.
And we will be talking about For Whom the Bell Tolls, as played in the intro credit sequence of Zombieland. So, Corey, what's your experience with the song For Whom the Bell Tolls?
Oh, it's a staple. I think it's on the Rushmore of Metallica, at least for me. I'm not too
Mhm.
well versed in new age Metallica, but that older, real early Metallica, I mean, you get
Mhm.
Cliff Burton playing bass on it, and I mean, it hits so perfectly. But I remember kind of a tangent, but I remember when I was younger in high school and
Mhm.
I was learning guitar. And my sister had an ex-boyfriend, and for some reason, in that kind of like relationship and things just kind of live where they do. It's like, oh, he left a Master of Puppets CD here. So I remember one summer I actually did everything I could possibly to try to learn as many songs off Master of Puppets
Nice.
on guitar. Did not make it very far just because my talents are very minimal, at least at
Mhm.
that point. But again, to was a huge fan of Metallica, the early Metallica, and to hear this song specifically for Home the Bell Tolls, it's just it everything about it is just so great. It's iconic Metallica, at least for me.
Mhm. I I have an interesting relationship with Metallica because my taste in music has evolved in very specific stages.
Hmm.
And now I'm a huge fan of classic metal. Like, there's some metal music today that I listen to, but a lot of it's a little too hard for me. But like, I remember distinctly in middle school and high school, my brother loved Metallica and would play it, and I did not like it. It was
Mm.
like, this is way too hard for me. Like, I was listening to Credence and Billy Joel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in college, I really started getting into metal music, whether it was Metallica or Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath. And I'm if I were to say what's my favorite genre of music, it's that hard rock music. It's AC/DC, it's Deep Purple, it's like that kind
Yeah.
of that place for
Yeah.
me. And like hard rock music today is definitely what metal used to be. Because like is Disturbed metal? Apparently not. It's
Yeah.
hard rock
It's hard
music,
rock.
and I'm like, okay. But like I'm a big Disturbed fan. They're one of the bands I listen to most. I got to see them in concert. I
Right
got to
on.
see Metallica in concert, which was
Oh,
really cool.
whoa. That is cool.
It was
Wow.
intense. The flames. The flames were everywhere. But I was a huge like I love Master of Puppets. I do regularly listen to newer Metallica, and their song "Spit Out the Bone" from their
Oh
most
yeah.
recent album. I love that song, and that like is so intense, and that's like thrashes back in
I was gonna, yeah.
Metallica because like they don't play like that very often anymore,
No.
and because like they are one of the four of thrash metal.
They are,
And
yes.
they are the ones that went mainstream the quickest,
Hmm.
um and have consistently been more mainstream to the point where like a lot of 90s Metallica feels much more like hard rock music than it is actually like metal.
Oh yeah.
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 um
They take
but
it they took it they diverged from thrash for a bit there.
yes. um but For Whom the Bell Tolls, that whole
So insane, dude.
it just there's very few openings to a song that kick ass as hard as that. Like this and Hell's Bells, and just like the sense of you are just like setting a tone at the
Yeah.
beginning. But this song, before I get into this, I have a really funny story about Metallica. So one of my best friends, Matt and I have been friends since our second week of college. So we've been friends for almost 15 years at this point.
Wow.
I remember when
That's
he came
awesome.
over one time And I actually still have the ottoman. I used to put all my CDs in an like a large ottoman that you could lift open and
Yeah.
you have stuff in it. And he was like, dude, and just some context, Matt is a black man. And it opened up this ottoman, and he's like, dude, I just expected to see like a bunch of Metallica CDs. I'm like, why, Matt? Because I'm white. Which was funny because what he opened up and saw was a bunch of Muddy Waters and blues music and Motown and also some Metallica. There was some Metallica in
They're
there,
like they're at the bottom.
but he's like, dude, respect. And I'm like, okay, but like, I have a wide palette. I love blues music, and like blues is a big piece of a lot of British metal,
Oh yeah.
like not American metal. Generally, American metal is more like symphonic and stuff like that. But I'm such a big blues fan, so like that's just a funny story because he's like, dude, I just expected to see a bunch of Metallica. I'm like, do you even
That
listen to
is.
Metallica, Matt? And he doesn't. But anyway, uh, but this song is so great. And then you have a film like Zombieland, which
Right.
I think I was a little behind the ball on Zombieland
Hmm.
because I didn't see this right away when this came out. I
Wow.
probably saw
Okay.
this in sometime later in college, but this film is so damn funny,
It is. Yes.
so funny. And Jesse Eisenberg, especially Woody Harrelson's Tallahassee and his Twinkies, um, the whole Bill F. Murray of it all, and even like Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin, like the four of them make such a great combo.
Yeah.
And this is one of the freshest zombie movies you're gonna find because it has fun with it. It has the rules, how to like survive a zombie apocalypse and
Right.
everything. This is just one of those films that like I know the director, and like I don't think this director's ever gonna make anything as good as Zombieland ever again. But like it's just so much fun. It's so clever.
Hmm.
And it just had a lot of personality and really struck a chord with a lot of people at the time.
Yeah, it really did. I remember I definitely saw it. I think like either open like it was opening weekend at least at the very least. So I we were in it on this one, and yeah, I just remember like you were saying that whole segment with Bill Murray and them pretending to be Ghostbusters is freaking amazing.
But what's so funny is that we're going to be talking about the credit sequence at the beginning of the film
Yes.
because this is genius. This slow motion
Oh
montage
gosh, yeah.
of zombie attacks to For Whom the Bell Tolls. And, this is a dark thrash metal song. And it's just like, it sets the tone,
It
it
really
sets
does.
the
Yeah.
mood, like bad stuff's going to happen. And then just the idea of like, For Whom the Bell Tolls, it's like, death comes
Yep.
swiftly in zombie form for you. And just the gags and everything.
Hmm.
Like, it sets that big thumping like feeling, and you just have James Hetfield singing in the background, and you just see all the wildest things happening to all these people from these zombies.
Yeah, I think like you said, what really it's such a perfect like marriage between this song and I think it really is because of just that bass intro for it, the bass riff itself. It really lends itself perfectly to the slow motion just because it's like
Mm,
that lower end. So
yeah,
just that vibe, it's so perfect. But like you're saying, that those really big drum hits just
yep,
really elevate it too. It's just crazy. And to that the like you're saying, yeah, there's comedic aspects to the movie. Obviously, it's very comedic, but it definitely is. It like you're saying, it sets a tone, and it could have gone super dark, super
yeah.
fast with that, but it's just enough to where it's like, okay, this is kind of like the level that we're at for the remainder of this film. So I think it really does well on that.
Well, and that's a big thing too, because yes, this is very funny, but like people die.
Yeah.
These are zombies. They're killing people. And like, yeah, there are dark, funny moments in this montage, but like these are all people terrified,
Yeah.
running, being chased by these zombies and everything. And I think to your point too, because like obviously thrash is about like speed metal,
Right.
and oh, I didn't even mention like love Motorhead, and just like that tempo, but this is not that.
You're right.
And For Whom the Bell Tolls is from what, Ride the Lightning?
Yeah.
Yep. And that the bass, and it has a and it just has that perfect pace throughout for a slow motion montage of people getting murked by zombies. And it just like we said, it sets that tone of this is dark, this is ominous.
Yeah.
And yeah, we could laugh at some of these things, but like, don't be mistaken, there's stakes here.
Right.
People are gonna die, and people that you don't want to die are gonna die. And the people that you do care about in this movie are going to be in danger at any given moment of potentially dying and becoming a bloodthirsty, brain thirsty zombie.
I was thinking also, like, obviously you're watching it, it's like, do you think there could have been like a different song that could have fit in the same kind of vein? I was like beating my head, like racking it. I'm like, I can't think of anything. I couldn't.
I'm trying to think. So I talked about this. We did another recording, "Heaven and Hell" by Black Sabbath.
I would have been
It's,
sick.
I think it has the right tempo too, because that's the thing. You can't have a fast song for
Mhm.
this, and it has to have a bit of bombast to it at
Yeah.
given moments where it just like you have those strikes and it hitting and the transitions. And see, now I kind of want to play it and put heaven
Oh
and
yeah.
hell to it, and just that's probably the one off the top of my head I can think of.
Mm,
Because unless you're going for a completely different tone, if you're trying to lean into something like making it really funny,
yeah.
like I don't know why, but Queen popped in my head. Like throw like a Queen song in there and it'd be
A la
absolutely
Shaun of the Dead
hilarious.
a little bit. I got
Exactly.
it.
So
Yeah.
like they literally just put "Don't Stop Me Now."
That would
That
have been that would have been insane if they did do that. Like, what a
would have been
callback.
hilarious. What a
Yeah.
callback to another zombie movie that is pop culture, like pulpy and callbacks to things. It's meta. But no, I think Heaven and Hell would be a great choice
Yeah.
from Dio era Black Sabbath. Or is
I think Ride the
Children of the
Lightning, like I think just
Yeah,
Metallica's Ride the Lightning could have worked even too in a lot of
mhm.
senses.
I was thinking, is Children of the Grave by Black Sabbath too fast for it?
Hmm.
Because like thematically that would make sense. Because
Right.
like these are all zombies coming from the grave. Do love that song. That's a great one. Or even like something from Ozzy.
Oh
Trying to think
yeah.
of probably something would work. Crazy Train, I think, is a little too up
Too.
tempo.
Yeah, it's a little too fast, I think.
Um, it's more obscure, but like Perry Mason by Ozzy Osbourne, I feel like would work too. But like, and I think that's the thing that works too is like people know For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah, it's so iconic, that
Yep.
riff. It's crazy.
So I think that like you're just like, oh my god, it's Metallica.
Right.
And then it's like, oh my god, people getting eaten by zombies in slow motion. Um, and just some of them where it's like, I'm not mistaken, like one of them's like nude running after these people,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like it's dark, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It has those vibes. But no, there's a couple songs I can think of, but like this was just too good.
Yeah.
Just too good to pass up. It was a perfect choice. Metallica made the most sense in this
It really
moment
did. Yeah.
to really tie this together.
And I think just to go back to the idea of like this song specifically for this, and the use of, yeah, it's iconic, and yeah, the bass line is super, but I think that if it was like, if Metallica for whatever reason decided to write this, but the riff was played on guitar, I don't think it would have been used, or it would have just given, even that itself would give this such a different vibe that just the low end itself, I think, is that guttural piece to
Mhm.
it is what really helps out and helps that idea.
Well, it gives it like it because we're so used to rock music and metal music coming in with that great guitar riff, and
Mhm.
this is just something different,
So
and
different.
it's
Yeah.
just something eerie about it. And like I think that's what like
That's
exactly
it.
what you're saying, Corey. Something about it just like hits on like a deeper, like more intense level, and you're just like, oh, things are not right. And I just think it's so great that this is one of the best credit sequences. Like
Hmm.
obviously, like James Bond is its own category of just like that's just
Right.
an art form of making James Bond credit sequences. But like this, or like Watchmen with Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
Times Are a Changing, or like anything like that. This is like peak um credit sequences
Yeah.
that just really understands the mission and what it's trying to get across for sure.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
But Corey, thank you so much for coming on and talking a little bit of song Make It the Scene.
Yes, thank you for having me, man. Again, a lot of fun.
And thank all of you out there for listening. And thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.